is available in high definition.
The NASCAR Canadian Tire Series season is winding down and the Points Championship is heating up. Today's stage is Riverside International Speedway near Antigonish, Nova Scotia, where they have some of the best racing fans in the country.
And fans from coast to coast have taken in some of the best racing Canada has to offer as the 2010 NASCAR Canadian Tire Series has crisscrossed the nation as the top racers in the country vie for their place in history. Now the series has come to the biggest, baddest, loudest, and fastest oval in the country. This is race number 12 of the 2010 NASCAR Canadian Tire Series presented by Mobil 1. We're at Riverside International Speedway for the Komatsu 300 presented by Wilson Equipment. Hi everyone and welcome to the Mini Bristol Speedway of the Maritimes. I'm Adam Ross along with Billy Rouse Jr. and Todd Lewis's trackside. Billy, we say it year in and year out, but this is one great track.
It truly is, Adam. It's a very fast 1/3 high bank. It's modeled after Bristol, Tennessee. The neat thing here is both grooves come into play. I've seen it in the past where the outside lane is the preferred groove.
Well, true indeed, Billy. Track owner John Chisholm and track promoter Paul McLean have got themselves one of the best facilities in the country. And as we get to the final two races of the season, J.R. Fitzpatrick has a 21-point lead over DJ Kennington.
Well, Adam, although Steckly, Thompson, and Mix all have a mathematical shot at the championship, it's going to boil down to Fitzpatrick and Kennington.
Earlier today, it was the 22 Canadian Tire Dodge of Scott Steckly grabbing the pole in a time of 14.448 seconds for a new track record here at Riverside. Scott and the field have all strapped in. Let's send it down for the command.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Well, Scott Steckly gets his first pole of the year right here in Riverside, but look right behind him. Two championship contenders getting ready to do battle.
A beautiful field as always, Billy, and we're going to have some great onboard views of today's action. Here's one of them, Jason White, the A&W number 21. We're going to ride along with Jason this afternoon. We have a look at Kerry Mix, Dickey's number 02. He's always one to watch. Jeff Lapsevich, great qualifying effort. He's going to start fourth, and we'll be on board his car as well. Let's have a look at the starting grid as the caution car rolls away. Scott Steckly on the pole. DJ Kennington has the Castrol Edge Dodge on the outside. Second row sees points leader J.R. Fitzpatrick on the inside of Lapsevich. Row number 3, Donald Chisholm, the local driver on the inside with Anthony Simone starting in 6th. Fourth row, Kerry Mix with Don Thompson Jr., one of the hottest drivers on the circuit, starting 8th. Rounding out the top 10, Jason Hathaway on the inside in the number 3, Ron Beauchamp Jr. in the 60. John Gaunt will drive the number 11 from the 11th spot, and Wayne Smith will drive the 98. Row number 7, Mark Dillian, the part source number 9, Jason White in the A&W 21. 8th row sees Joey McComb in the race time radio number 50, with Dexter Stacy in the Bullies Truck Stop 55, and rounding out the field, Kenny Ford from the DJK Racing 00.
Well, Adam, once again, a great-looking bunch of stock cars here at Riverside. Today's going to be a strategy race as well. It's not always about speed. The crew chiefs are going to be hot up on top of the box, looking for their cars to come to pit road somewhere between lap 100 and lap 140. They'll put fuel in it and left side tires, my guess, and then get to lap 150 to lap 200, come in and put that last set of right sides on the race car and make it fast to the checker.
Well, we saw pit strategy play a huge role at Barrie Speedway last week. I'm sure we'll see the same thing here. We'll have the same guy on pit road. Let's go to Todd.
Guys, some local flavor to keep an eye on. Of course, the 89 car starting 5th is Donald Chisholm. He's run very successfully here, finished 5th last season. Also, the 98, his teammate Wayne Smith, who is a 5-time track champion, says the thing to watch is brakes. He hopes to stay on the lead lap and be there for a good finish at the end of this one.
Well, and to take it a little bit further with Wayne Smith, Billy, it's going to be a lot about brakes, and these cars are very, very different than what he's used to driving, particularly in the brakes.
Well, one thing about it, the regular cars that run here in the weekly series, they're a little bit lighter, a little less horsepower, so you can drive them in a little deeper and stop them, but they're also a lighter race car. These are heavy and heavy horsepower stock cars, and we're about to go green. Let's get the action started.
Peter Fahey from Wilson Equipment, he's in the starter stand. He throws the green flag and we're going racing. Steckly with a good jump. now. Jeff Blasevich really dropping back on the outside. He's out at the top 5 already, but Scott Steckly takes the lead.
Lapsevich had to be asleep at the switch. He lost tons of ground on the green, and the battle is up front between a pair of Dodges, the 22 of Steckly and 17 DJ Kennington.
Donald Chisholm got a nice clean start. Look at him getting racy. He's looking under Fitzpatrick.
Wow, you got a good shot of that camera there. Lots of horsepower. These guys are turning some serious RPM down that straightaway.
And you can see these drivers, they just hurl the car into the banking in the corner and they shoot out the other side, Billy.
Well, that's the trick about banking. You can drop the car in. When you turn it on into the banking, you can let the bank slow the car in and what they call when it lands and not use up near as much brake, but it's still tough on the right front tire.
Hard racing for the 5th position right now. Anthony Simone gets the spot. He'll pull up in front of Jeff Lapsevich as we look out the windshield of the number 23 in 6th.
Good look inside. The car just seems just a tad loose on the 23 at this point.
And we see Jason Hathaway, Billy. This is going to be cool today. We've got a suspension cam. Check this out.
That's the right front. See the thing go down? Almost coil binds. Not quite. There's still a little gap between the spring separations there on the inside, but almost a coil bind situation on the 3.
That's using up pretty much most of that spring. Coil bind is something I'd love to have explained to me someday, but we don't have enough time. Wow, Thompson and Kerry Mix get into it there. That's a battle for 7th. Thompson is on fire the last 5 races. 6 races, I think he's got a win and 4 top 5s.
Well, he's just on the march, that's for sure. He's got that new car sorted out. Sandy Hamilton turning the wrenches on that thing. Definitely got it dialed in. And there's the contenders. Oh, 84 loose, but he did get up underneath the 17 of Kennington, and they'll go at it down the backstretch.
Today was the first time in a long time J.R. Fitzpatrick said to me, he says, I'm happy with my race car, Adam. He says, working the way I want it to. He hasn't said that since before Edmonton, and he won that race.
Wow, lots of RPM. One more time, I'm telling you, those things are turning some serious RPM. Chisholm hard on the bumper of the 17 of Kennington. He wants up in the front action for sure.
Well, local drivers, we have a look at the Celtic Ford, sponsored Ford, running in the 4th spot. One thing we should talk about is we're on board. You can see the car just nose down. A lot of teams were having problems bottoming out earlier on today, Billy.
Well, that's one of the concerns here in practice is you got to get the car to settle as much as you can. You want to travel it as best you can without touching the racetrack. Look at it, fly the nose right there. Steckly, real good look. That thing was right down in the balance going through the corner. And watch this, up off the corner, look at that. He's flying 6, maybe 6.5 inches of nose. Same as the 84 of Fitzpatrick. Look at that, right back down in the racetrack.
And we should tell the fans watching, it's not so much the front end, the bumper touching the ground, but the car underneath the steel, once it touches the ground, the weight comes off the tires and it's almost impossible to control, right?
Well, if you touch the cross member or anything underneath the race car, it just unloads the tire and the race car shoots up the racetrack. And albeit this is a very wide racetrack, if there's a car beside you, we got a problem.
Scott Steckly already putting a lap on Jason White in the 21. White's running in the 16th spot, so Steckly's setting a pretty tough pace here early on.
Well, Scott Steckly, not an overly aggressive driver, but when his car is right, he can check out and just set sail.
And look at this pack. That's 6th place on back to about 12th or so, all in a row behind Lapsevich.
I love that sound. I could listen to that all day long. Matter of fact, I do. It's a great racetrack here. These guys really get up off the corner hard, and when they settle them down into the corner, they really bottom out hard. You watch, oh, we got one around backwards.
That's Dexter Stacy, and it's going to bring out our first caution of the race.
I'll finish the thought I was telling you. Take a look. Next time the camera goes up off the corner on the backstretch, the cars actually go up the hill and then settle and go back down the hill into turn 3. It really unsettles the chassis, and the boys got to do their homework.
2 cars jumping at the chance to make pit stops. The 50 of Joey McComb with a stop to tighten him up. It's loose, and guys, loose is fast, but this one's a bit of a rattlesnake. The 98 of Wayne Smith also making a handling adjustment. Back with more from Riverside International Speedway in just a moment.